What a lovely statue.
Thanks, I worked really hard to get it. It took me ages.
You went out of your way for this?
Of course, I saw that it was there, and there's something about it that I can't take my eyes off of.
Is it its wonderful slim figure?
No, actually, it's the giant frickin' ball.
It's okay, you don't have to finish that sentence.
Ladies, gentlemen, and hunters of all ages, Wild Hearts is a game full of things to do, from hunting kimono, which is the main activity, to upgrading all of your armor and weapons, side quests, fisherman quests, and of course the ever-elusive Karakuri upgrade tree. If you want to, you can spend hundreds of hours easily without completing and unlocking everything that is available. I'm already over 100 hours myself, just playing the game the way that I have been. One thing that I found over my extensive time played personally is that I am still nowhere close to actually completing the Karakuri upgrade tree. I have a lot of them unlocked, but I still need a lot more orbs to actually finish it. Sure, a number of things on the tree are just cosmetic dragging Karakuri. I mean, who really needs a bench all that desperately unless making your world look aesthetic is your main goal? That said, even ignoring the aesthetics, it takes hundreds of thousands of kimono orbs to unlock this whole tree, and most of it is full of goodies, upgrades for Karakuri, and even new Karakuri at certain points. And aside from the relatively few steps on this upgrade tree that are unlocked automatically with story progress and certain quest completions, the vast majority of it needs you to go through it manually, spending kimono orbs to unlock each step. So, with that said, what exactly are kimono orbs if you really don't know? But more importantly, what is the most efficient way to get kimono orbs as quickly as possible so you can get those lovely deep tree upgrades that make all of your favorite Karakuri even stronger? And of course, even increase your maximum healing water that you can hold, which is an incredibly big deal as well. First up, kimono orbs are the upgrade material for the tree. They come from two main sources, defeating kimono and breaking parts off of kimono. With that, you may think that the best way to get these would be simple, and honestly it sort of is, but there is some math involved, and at the end of the day, the most efficient way to get these may in fact be a bit different for each individual person. Start off then, let's talk about breaking parts. Depending on the specific kimono and the specific part of that kimono, a part break can net you anywhere from 30 to 100 kimono orbs, which is small, but it definitely helps out along the farm. As a result, if you want to farm more kimono orbs just in your regular hunting without actually changing what you're doing, just in the activities you're already normally taking part in, then just aim for more part breaks. Maybe slot in the destruction art skill on your weapon or some talismans to make the parts break easier. That said, don't focus bad parts. It's not worth going after something like the tusks of a Ting Tusk if you just want his kimono orbs, because they take really low damage, and so the more that you hit these, the slower that you'll actually kill the kimono, and generally speaking, the fastest way to get the most orbs is just simply killing kimono as quickly as you can. As I said, a part break can net anywhere from 30 to 100 orbs, whereas a kill is just exponentially more than that. Specifically, this changes at various star rankings, and sometimes even within star rankings if the game decides that a certain creature is just harder than the others at that rank. If you are still pre-chapter 3, I wouldn't generally worry about farming these orbs too much, as it'll get much faster the further you get through the game. That said, once you've defeated Earthbreaker, the big rock bear, this is technically the easiest orb farm, and it's available quite early in the game. This is by far not the fastest way to farm orbs, it takes quite a while to actually get through the quest, but as I said, it is the easiest. It takes very little effort, very little input, and you get 780 for doing it. The fight is also just barely a fight.
It was a pun.
It does take a bit though, so again, if efficiency is your goal, then there are much better ways to get it done. Specifically, the next step is I'm going to break down exactly how many orbs a few specific kimono are worth to give you a general understanding of the value of your time as far as orbs go. Then I'll present what I believe is simply the best option for farming these orbs as quickly and consistently as possible. So let's move on to chapter 3, where you start to get mighty kimono. These are of course worth more orbs than their earlier counterparts by a relatively significant amount. We of course have Sap Scourge, a 1-star kimono. He's worth a paltry 900. Not bad, but there are some worth significantly more. As well, while his health pool is relatively low compared to a lot of others, he has a couple of moves that he can pull out to significantly slow down your kill time here. He moves around a bit too much for our purposes. And if what we are after is efficiency, then what we need to find is that perfect balance of worth a decent amount of orbs, but also really good kill times possible. Another point of note is anytime that you die during a hunt, your end reward of kimono orbs goes down by 1/3. So this is also a knock against the harder creatures even though they are worth more orbs, if you do actually die, then you definitely don't get as many orbs. If we were to move up to a 4-star creature, for example, such as Fumebeak, you'd see that the Kemono Orb reward for this goes up to 1230, which is decent and just over 300 higher than Sapscourge. If you're wondering, the jump upwards between 1-star and 4-star is pretty consistent. It goes up by 100 give or take per star rank. Then we get to a 5-star quest, which is worth 1320, and then things like Ember Plume are worth a bit over 1400. Past that, we have one creature that grants more. Without spoiling it, it is the final boss of the story, which is worth 1500 orbs exactly. There are technically things that are worth more in the game, endgame only quests that I won't be spoiling either, but those are notably harder and more time consuming than most other quests, and so their actual reward as far as Kemono Orbs specifically definitely isn't worth doing that if you just want to farm the orbs, especially if you include the higher chance of having a death and thus the reduction in orbs there. All of that said, I've tried a whole whack of creatures, I've recorded kill times, reward values, all that good stuff, and my strategy for the most efficient Kemono Orb farm possible is simple: kill Mighty King Tusk on repeat forever. It is definitely worth mentioning that once you've done Mighty King Tusk once, you'll unlock the Recondite version of the quest. This both makes it so that he will permanently enrage, and it also gives him a lower health pool to balance it out. These Recondite versions of quests don't change the Kemono Orb rewards, but ones like this that give it weak Kemono do make the quest actually faster, and so literally speaking, it is this specific version of this quest that is the most efficient orb farm. In my mid-game build, which is essentially a bunch of random armor for defensive purposes that didn't really have any offensive skills, and a really just sort of okay weapon. It had a decent amount of attack, but I didn't focus on any of the skills on it, I just wanted to get good attack on the weapon. My kill time with that on King Tusk was right around 1 minute. I could do this relatively consistently. At its slowest, it was 1:30. All I had to do was put a chain trap on his exit path so I could kill him before he escaped. Now that I'm in a more endgame armor and weapon set, I can kill him in 26 seconds flat, which I won't lie, feels extremely good. Let's go off of that mid-game build average though for a bit of mathing this out. You kill King Tusk in about a minute, so let's call it 1,000 Kemono Orbs for a minute of hunting, right? At that rate, even though bigger and more threatening Kemono are worth more per kill, they take much longer to get that done. King Tusk is sort of that perfect mix of extremely killable, he's very easy to hit the weak spots of, and he's very easy to dodge when he attacks you. He's very easy to lock down, and you can actually get through his health pool very quickly. And he's still worth more than something like Sapscourge. Even by a small amount, he is. Let's take the final boss for example. Again, without spoiling, the final boss is worth 1500 Kemono Orbs. King Tusk is just over 1,000. Mathematically speaking, for the final boss to be as efficient a Kemono Orb farm as King Tusk is, you would have to kill it in 1:30 seconds or less, which I don't care what your build is, that's not happening unless you're a speedrunner, and even then, I don't actually know that it's possible to do it that fast. For an example of what I mean, with the build that I used to kill King Tusk in 26 seconds, I used the same build and went at Pearlbeak, who isn't really worth a whole lot more Kemono Orbs, but is worth a bit more, and it instead took me 2.5 minutes. Sure, the run was a bit scuffed, I let it change zones, I didn't lock it down as much as I could have, but that is sort of the point here. Even when you mess up King Tusk, it takes half as long as this at most, and it is worth only a fraction less, so efficiency-wise, King Tusk is sort of the cheat code when it comes to farming Kemono Orbs. Running back to my earlier point as well, part breaks do help, but only sort of to a certain extent. The issue is that a part break on King Tusk is generally worth about 50 orbs, and you'll probably get one naturally just by beating up his most vulnerable parts to kill him as quickly as possible, but if you focus on getting part breaks, your kill will be slower. If you put destruction art on your weapon or talismans over an actual damage skill, your kill will be slower, and 50 orbs for even a 10% slower King Tusk kill isn't worth it, mathematically speaking. So genuinely the best thing that you can do to farm Kemono Orbs is simply kit yourself out with as many damage skills as you physically can, the strongest weapon that you have, and then just go at King Tusk. Kill it as quickly as possible and do it on repeat. On top of that, fun to note that this may well be the best gold farm in the game too, given that each time you kill him, you have a high chance of getting the prized King Tusk seed, his sell-only material, which is worth 1200 gold. So again, if you just kill King Tusk as quickly as you can on repeat, you walk away with 1020 Kemono Orbs and 1200 gold per kill. Sounds like a pretty solid deal, right? There you have it, everyone. The mathematically most efficient way to farm Kemono Orbs within the game. Some Kemono are worth more than others, but in the end, due to the actual values that they are worth, the most efficient farm is simply the ones that you can kill the fastest, that are still worth a decent amount. If you can kill the final boss in a minute and a half, be my guest. But unless you can do that, it simply isn't worth more than killing King Tusk in 1 minute, as far as orbs go. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I hope it helps you in your journey to unlock the entire Karakuri tree. Like if you like the video, subscribe and hit the notification bell for more, and most importantly, ladies and gentlemen, until next time, stay sweet.
Josh, Cotton, and Hollow with the videos, dropping the humor like a hammer on your tippy toes, bringing entertainment on a daily arrangement to take our insanity and turn it into entertainment. Yes, I said entertainment twice, to reiterate that it is nice to look into your faces on a mostly daily basis when you let us in your homes to make the whole world a stage. Goodbye.